Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the English news of Bình Phước radio, television station, and newspaper. I'm the one presenting you top stories as usual. 1.4% of Bình Phước population donate blood annually. Avocado prices plummet at the end of crop. President urges Quảng Bình to tap strengths for sustainable development. HSBC lowers Vietnam inflation forecast to 3.5%. People in Bình Phước province have actively taken part in voluntary blood donation drives held over the years. Through such campaigns, including Red Spring and On People Donate Blood, thousands have volunteered to donate every year.
As a result, in the 2016 to 2021 period, the province collected in excess of 105,000 blood units, exceeding the target set by the National Steering Committee by 18%. Bình Phước collects about 14,000 blood units each year on average, with 1.4% of its population taking part in campaigns. More than 65% of people donating blood do so more than once. Bình Phước has 73 blood donation clubs with more than 1,200 members and one club for those with rare blood types, with 65 members. All districts, cities, towns, communes, and wards have set up their own steering committee on blood donation drives. Sectors, organizations, and people around the province have actively responded to campaigns, contributing to meeting blood demand for emergencies and medical treatment.
The recent avocado harvest in Bình Phước saw lower price than in previous year. This is inevitable given the complex development in traditional export markets. To address sale-related issues in a sustainable manner, avocado growers are urged to take the initiative in seeking out new markets by conducting sales on e-commerce platforms.
Avocados were purchased at orchards in Phu Phan communes, Busamap districts, at a price of 17,000 Vietnamese đồng per kilo. Most of the cultivation areas mid-harvest belong to families who did not begin the process early on, in the hope of earning a good price at the end of the crop. However, dependence on the domestic market, together with unfavorable weather, contributed to local avocados experiencing falling prices. As local farmers have only begun growing avocados in recent years, they don't have much experience. Timely measures proved to be effective amid unfavorable weather, but the yield is likely to decline if farmers follow the same methods used for other crops. This is expected that obstacles lie ahead in sales of farm produce in general and fruit in particular. Although e-commerce marketplaces have helped boost sales, the number of farming households meeting the necessary requirements remains modest. E-commerce marketplaces are working with local post offices to have farmers sell their produce on such platforms. To do so, we need certification in Vietgap standards and sustainable organic farming. In addition to training their traditional farming procedures, avocado growers need support from relevant agencies in labeling, origin tracing, and the insurance of cultivation zone costs to ensure stable sales.
Now let's take a look at the top stories around the country. President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc paid a working visit to the central province of Quảng Bình on June 14th and 15th. Join us to see his activities in the locality.
During a working session with Quảng Bình Provincial Party Committee on June 15th, President Phúc urged local localities to exploit its unique advantages for sustainable development. The state leader underlined the need for the locality to have a long-term vision in development, saying tourism should be turned into a spearhead economic sector. Regarding overall socio-economic development, President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc said the province needs to concentrate on 4 pillars including tourism, smart agriculture, industry, and sustainable maritime economic development. He suggested Quảng Bình develop key industries with competitive advantage, such as electricity, renewable energy, and sea-based economic sectors. During his stay in Quảng Bình province, President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc spent time visiting and presenting gifts to Vietnamese heroic mother Nguyễn Thị Trụ, 95 years old, and wife invalid Nguyễn Thông, born in 1959, who are living in Đồng Hới City.
On June 15th, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính hosted receptions for Ambassador of Egypt and Mongolia in Hanoi.
Receiving Egyptian Ambassador Avocado and Mosi Salama, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính said Vietnam always places importance to the traditional solidarity, friendship and cooperation with Egypt and highly values the latter's culture, history and civilization. Chính stressed that there is huge potential for cooperation between the two countries. The two sides should strive to make bilateral ties more practical and substantial, focusing on increasing delegation exchange and lifting two-way trade turnover to $1 billion, among others, he noted. For her part, the Egyptian ambassador affirmed that Egypt appreciates Vietnam's roles in multilateral forums such as ASEAN and the UN. She plans to try her best to further boost the multifaceted ties with Vietnam during her tenure. At the reception for Mongolian Ambassador Jigji Serajab, Prime Minister Chính asked the guests to tightly cooperate with Vietnamese ministries and agencies to seek ways aimed at further boosting bilateral ties. The Vietnamese government leader stressed that Vietnam is always ready to welcome visits by leaders of Mongolia. Congratulating achievements Vietnam has gained over the past time, Mongolian ambassador said the success is also a precious lesson for his country. Vying to try the best to strengthen the bilateral ties, the Mongolian ambassador said trade cooperation and the work of educating the youth from both countries on the traditional relations between Mongolia and Vietnam will be the focus in his agenda in the coming time.
HSBC had lowered its forecast on Vietnam inflation rate in 2022 to 3.5% from its earlier prediction of 3.7% due to the stable domestic food price, which is expected to help curb the country's headline inflations.
According to a report released on June 14th, HSBC explained that inflation rates in ASEAN countries has increased since the beginning of this year, leading to a high rise in both core and highlight inflation rates compared to the period before COVID-19 broke out. However, the impacts are different on each country, and inflation pressure in Singapore, Thailand, and the Philippines has become heavier, while in Vietnam, Malaysia, and Indonesia, inflation has been under good control, according to the report. But headline inflation is likely to increase sharply in the second group soon, especially in the context of rising energy prices, it predicted, adding that although the world oil price has cooled down compared to the peak in March, it's still at high level, while the price of natural gas continues to increase gradually. It's said in Vietnam, energy price inflation has also persisted for long. Transport prices hit a record high, surpassing food inflation to become the main driver of Vietnam's headline inflation.
That's all for today on BPTV News. Thank you for your watching and goodbye for now.